A letter to a grieving mother. It was a cold November morning in 1864 when President Abraham Lincoln sat at his desk in the White House. The war still raged on, though its end seemed closer with every passing day. Reports of battles, victories, and losses crossed his desk daily, and the weight of it all bore down on his shoulders like a millstone. Among the many letters he received was one that caught his eye. It was a message from a small town in Massachusetts, written by a minister who recounted the story of a widow named Lydia Bixby. She had, according to the letter, lost 5 sons in the Civil War. 5 sons, all gone. Lincoln read the letter twice, and then a third time. He could not imagine a grief so profound. He was no stranger to loss himself. He had buried 2 of his own children, but the thought of losing all one's children to war struck him deeply. He felt the familiar ache of sorrow in his chest, but alongside it came a surge of duty. He could not bring back her sons, but he could honor her sacrifice. Taking up his pen, Lincoln began to write. Dear Madam, I have been shown in the files of the War Department a statement of the Adjutant General of Massachusetts, that you are the mother of 5 sons who have died gloriously on the field of battle. He paused. Words seemed insufficient for such a profound loss. How could he console a mother who had given everything? Slowly, he continued. I feel how weak and fruitless must be any word of mine which should attempt to beguile you from the grief of a loss so overwhelming. But I cannot refrain from tendering you the consolation that may be found in the thanks of the Republic they died to save. As he wrote, Lincoln thought of his own grief, the nights he had spent by the bedside of his dying son Willie, whispering prayers that went unanswered. He thought of the thousands of soldiers he had met, their faces young and full of hope, who would never return home. And yet, despite the sorrow, he believed in the cause. He believed that their sacrifice would bring about a better, freer world. He finished the letter with trembling hands. I pray that our Heavenly Father may assuage the anguish of your bereavement, and leave you only the cherished memory of the loved and lost, and the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom. Yours, very sincerely and respectfully, A. Lincoln. Lincoln set down the pen and read the letter aloud. His voice wavered as he spoke the final lines. He folded the paper, sealed it, and addressed it to Lydia Bixby. For a moment, he sat in silence, staring at the envelope. He knew that no words could truly ease her pain, but he hoped she would feel the gratitude of a nation in mourning. As the letter was sent off, Lincoln turned back to the mounting pile of papers on his desk. But his mind lingered on Lydia Bixby and the sons she had lost. He carried her grief with him, just as he carried the grief of an entire nation. And though the letter was small, it became a lasting symbol of Lincoln's humanity, a reminder that even amidst the horrors of war, compassion and empathy could still shine through.